Good morning, guys. Today is September 25th, 2016. I'm going to be going over this week's trade ideas. First one on the list is CRTL. Charts getting some volume here, decent MACD crossover. Stochastics are a little bit hot, but this is the only indicator that's really not having fun with the chart right now. So what I'd like is I'd like a little pullback on this one. Let me bring this back into frame a little bit. Okay, so I'd like this pullback to about $37.75 here. If you can get it at $37.75, you can play it up back to this area here at the 50 EMA. If the chart was to break the 50 EMA and hold, which means that the candle has to close over the 50 EMA, I would then add into the position and try to get it up to about $41 up at this downtrend line. Next one on the list is Sbux, SBUX. This chart have reclaimed an area here that it did lose before. It also reclaimed it with some decent volume. You have MACD that's trying to cross over. Stochastics are fine. And so what I'd like to see is an upside move on this one. So I'm thinking somewhere around, if it comes back just a little bit to retest the 13 EMA, as long as it can stay above the 13 EMA, find some support from this range over here, which brings me right to about $54.31 here. If you can catch this range and the chart was to hold above that area here and continues to close over the 13, you'll find that it wants to come up to the 50 EMA on the daily chart, which puts you right about $55.50. If the chart was to reclaim this entire area here, which would be a very strong area of resistance, it acted as resistance here too, but didn't really act as support as it came through it. So if it was to reclaim this $55.50, you have a possibility of pushing the chart all the way up to 57. Next on the list is First Solar. Couple strong volume days here. MACD's crossed over. Stochastics are a little hot, that's fine, but the chart did come over a couple of interesting areas of resistance, areas obviously that it could not break before. So as the chart closed over these areas of resistance here, it now finds itself into a stronger area of support. So I'd like a little pullback on this one down to about $36.50 or so. Just give it a little bit to whip back right into a little retracement zone. Then you can take it on the long side and try to see if it can come back up here and test this downtrend, which sits about $39 to $40. There is a gap here up to $41.50. It may want to try to get up to this range. So if you're in the trade on the long side and it is working for you, then that's where you're going to shoot for eventually. TWOU is hitting a resistance up here, a bearish Harami star up at the top here. The sellers are not ready just yet, but I do think that it needs a pullback before any kind of action does happen. So I'm thinking short it, risk the top, bring it back down into this $36 area, or even into right into mid 35s, and then try to play it on the long side if the 13 EMA can act as support here. You can see that when it came through the 50 EMA that there were strong buyers that said yes, we are going to keep it up above the 50 EMA, and the chart has proven to be strong ever since. Even when it reaches up to the top, sellers could be here, but they're not as much here. So I'd look for a little trickle down on it, bring it down into the 36 or mid 35s, then take it long for a new high. Next on the list is Aeri, A-E-R-I. Okay, chart remains strong. I understand that it's up high and that's fine. But if you look at the trend line here, the top wicks supported here at the bottom. So now this resistance on the trend becomes a support on the trend. Nice bullish Harami up in the top here. Forget about how high up the chart is. Play it for what it is right now on a new leg setup. I would be long on it at $38.40, $38.31, somewhere around here. I'd be long on it. Your risk can be very tight because you're seeing where the trend is. And so if you risk down to the low of Friday's close, it should be enough here to try to see if you can push it back up into a new 52-week high. PE chart closed under its 50 EMA. There's definitely a gap here that it could possibly want to come back and fill. So what I'd like to do on this is I'd like to see a push up to $31.75 to 80 cents, somewhere around here. And then let's see if we can quickly bring it back down. I do think that the chart does have room to try to come back to fill some of this gap here. It never really showed strong breakout area besides the big pop. You were seeing sellers here that came in. Succession of red candles here. The indicators are cooled off, but they can still go down lower. So I'm thinking definitely if you can bring it back down, short it at $31.75 to 80 cents and bring it back down into this mid 30s. If it was to break this miniature uptrend right here, you can then add into the position and see if you can get it to fill the entire gap on the way down. OSK, so this is Oshkosh. This chart has big moves when it does move, and the move right now is down. When it moves big up, it pushes up. When it moves down, it's gonna pull down. So I'm thinking lower on this one. So I'm looking for a continued sell-off closer down to about $49.50, and that should bring you right back into an area of support all the way through this way over here. So when you come back into the support area here, I'd like to see what the chart can do, and by seeing I mean taking it long. Take it long and try to see if it can come back and test this uptrend that it broke. Maybe it wants to reclaim it, or maybe it wants to get rejected at that point. So even if you get it on the quick sell off here down to $49.50, bring it back up to the 52. There's a nice range here to play if you're interested in playing it. Box, BOX. Now this one's not going to have a huge range on it, at least for now at the top. But I am seeing sellers at the top, and I am seeing my MACDs cross down, stochastics are crossed down, and buyers have definitely dried up at this area. I'm thinking if the chart pops up a little bit, $14.65, you grab it on the short side, risk the top. See if you can bring it all the way back down to the mid to low 13s. Chart definitely needs to reset a little bit anyways, so I would like to see a nice slow bleed on this one. Again, it's not going to have huge range on it, but if the chart was to break down completely and you are in already a short position, you can really capitalize on it by adding under the 50 EMA. Next on the list is Buff, BUFF. I'm thinking the sell-off here continues for a little bit. Chart's a little bit whippy when it does have kind of erratic moves sometimes. I'm thinking a little more downside on it. I'd like to see when it comes back into this trend. I'll have to bring it out a little bit. Okay, see this trend over here? Chart bounced here, bounced here, bounced here, came back over here, came back over here. Let's try to see if that area wants to hold. So obviously you've seen it done a few times where the chart kind of shows you that it can hold for strength. So let's just try to see if it can hold for strength over here again. Comes back into this range over here, right to about $23.35. You can try to take some of it long and see if the area supports. And if it does not, at least you know that you can have a tight stop underneath it and get out of the trade if it doesn't work. But if it does hold, you can get the chart back up into maybe 25s or so, because it does show you that when it does bounce, it gives you a decent enough of range to the upside. Last one on the list is Dxpe. Really nice bull flag here as long as it can stay up into the retracement area. So I'm looking at for a power zone over here. You would find support over here. You would also find support at the 50 EMA. So within those two little ranges right there, you can find yourself some support. So I'm thinking the chart pulls back to that 50 EMA, coming down to about $24 and let's call it $24.25, somewhere around there. $24.25 range, and then you could try it on the long side. See if you can get this little curl up here. The indicators would have reset it perfectly for a nice move anyways. Stochastics kind of showing a little oversold condition. Well, who cares about stochastics right now? Because I've seen sellers, indicators like this just keep on going down and the price keeps going down, or even if they're hot, the price keeps going up. So don't put all your focus on one indicator, but you can have a couple indicators that are gonna help along with some of your trades. So I think if it pulls back to the 50 EMA down here at $24.25, tested for the long side, obviously you're still within a power zone over here, and that support would obviously come from these highs over here. So you don't need to run out of the position. If it breaks to 50, maybe it'll come down, hold this area here, and then once you're still within that power zone, you can retain the long position, try to see if you can get it back up to about 27 or higher. So those are the trades for this week, only 10 of them like I usually do. If you don't follow me, this is my Twitter handle at IcemanTrading. There you'll find a link to all the other stuff that I do. Thank you very much.